daily soccer podcast with the Global Sports Podcast Network.
Hello and welcome back to the Daily Southampton, part of the Global Sports Podcast Network. My name is Greg Elliott, and as always today, joined by my good friend and wonderful co-host, Zach Ingo Finch. Zach, I know how you're doing because this is take 3, one faux pas apiece, but I'm going to ask anyway, mate. How you doing?
Mate, real football is back. The international break is over. We can now finally watch football that I spend more than 5 minutes caring about.
Well, I'm absolutely buzzing. I'm so excited. Look, be remiss to start on a negative, but a 12:30 kickoff for a game that's not on TV. Like, come on.
Yeah, right. Well, I'm annoyed because supposedly, by the looks of it, we've been moved due to that really famous derby between QPR and Millwall. So famous I had to Google it. And,
And yeah, and as previously discussed in a lost recording to time, you're right. My annoyance mostly comes from the fun logistical puzzle of trying to work out a 9:30 kickoff in Locks Heath and getting to St Mary's in time for a 12:30 kickoff there. So the joys of
it's part and parcel. It's not like you've not had absolutely forever to know that this is a 12:30 kickoff. It's not like they changed it last week, mate. Like you can't get mad that they changed it. Like they're like, it's just right. They're changing it 2 weeks before, so then they keep changing it like 6 months before.
You're right. It's been in my calendar as a 12:30 kickoff since I put all of the fixtures in the calendar. That doesn't mean that I didn't learn that it was a 12:30 kickoff live mid-recording earlier this week. So.
Wow, what can the club do?
But look, it is real football. It's back. We are hosting Swansea at St Mary's in a real game of league football. How are you feeling heading into this one? Feeling good? Feeling positive?
It's a bit of a weird one, right? Because I think that we're still struggling to figure out what the team's going to look like due to injuries from before the international break, injuries during the international break. And obviously, just the sort of lethargy that's been around the club, and it's not unnoticed to be that one of the social media clips last week that did really well was us talking about, Greg, how realistically what we actually just want to see is the club win. We just want to see the team win. And this is why sometimes I get this delusion of grandeur that Will still listens to us, because he pretty much said the same thing today, where it doesn't matter what I do or how I play football. Yeah, it might be the most attractive way, but until we start actually winning games, like, people are always going to have that opinion, and he's right. So what I'd really like to see is us to win. That'd be really nice.
He also pointed out that football's not always rocket science, and you have to both keep the ball out of your own net and put it in the other team's net to win games, which is a recurring theme on this show.
Well, it's the theme. It's one of the recurring themes from you, mate, where football's actually really simple, and also you really hate Pep Guardiola, and that seems to be the two. Like, if you were to ask me the two personality traits for Craig on this show, they would be up there, mate. Like,
yeah, well, that's fair. That and hopelessly optimistic, I guess.
Oh no, sorry, 7-0 wins every week, right? Like,
yeah, that's it, mate. But look, we got 3 games in a game week, and like this little 6-game block before the next international break. Don't say it too loudly, but
yeah, sure.
This is like a key chunk of the season, right? When you're breaking it down into chunks, those dividers. Like if we come away with 18 points in the next 6 games, like our conversations are completely different, right? Than if we come away with even 6. So
yeah, you're right. 18 points would be fantastic. I don't know how much I believe it's going to happen yet, and that brings me back to the other point from this press conference, which is slightly on the downturn of we're still making the point that last season was terrible, and I'm pretty sure he would have liked to use a lot more extreme words, right? Like we often do, and it was really, really, really bad. And anyone that just kind of thought we were going to like HMS piss the league or whatever, just not quite how it was ever going to be. We're part of that problem, considering we put like us as winning the league, right? I don't know if that's maybe we're joking. I think there's some low-key underneath belief there, Greg, that you think that we might actually get first at some point.
Well, I always believe that is maybe my biggest character flaw.
You're right. The hope that kills you, right? Except, I'm now just abandoning all hope so I can just live here as a lifeless husk. But it is one of those things with this game coming up specifically. We would love to see something start to happen now, right? And he's aware that it's getting to that kind of point, and it isn't easy. And yes, it's about turning draws into wins, but not only that, it's just about winning. Like, Hull City can be considered a one-off if it's not consistent. And Swansea is a team that we should be beating. Now, I might be in trouble slightly with you, Greg, because you were like, "Oh, we can't say that," but we did go through Swansea's squad list, and I did not recognise a single name on that squad list, and made the joke that some of them sound like regens from either Football Manager or FM. Obviously, they're going through their big rebuild. Now they're owned by Snoop Doggy Dogg and Luka Modric in some weird... So obviously, we're also going to be coming up against a team that's in a bit of transition similar to us. So we really need to stamp the authority that we are capable of beating them. And that's where I get worried, because it's like, as you say, Greg, like, some games should be easy, and they don't end up being easy, mate. That's my fear.
Look, I know that you don't like to put a lot of credit into this, but you look back at the last 4 times we've played them, across the leagues, it's 3-0 in January, 3-1 in January the year before, 5-0 at home on Boxing Day, 3-2 at Swansea in 2022,
You're right. That was the Sulemana goal, wasn't it? Where he did the backflip or whatever, and was like, and then that's when we got the Instagram montage of how good he could be, and proceeded to struggle the rest of the league. But there we are. So you're right. Like, okay, so on paper we should be doing really well, right?
Yeah,
paper's great, and we've always done consistently well against Swansea. Yeah, I don't want it to be another banana skin, because this is kind of how we looked at with Hull. We looked very much like it. But how are your thoughts going into it, mate? Like, before we start talking team lineups, what do you feel?
I feel like it's all right. I mean, it is a difficult one because there are so many unknowns. I mean, just to complete the tick box on cliche bingo, you say it's a game we should win on paper, but football's a game played on grass. Like,
we've said them all now. We can just stitch the rest of it together. AI will do the rest of it, right?
But no, it's not really as easy to guess this time, because as we're going to find out when we get into this team predictions, we don't know what our shape is going to look like. We don't know what the personnel is going to look like. We don't know if we're going to stick to a similar system as we had that was having success with Ross Stewart on the pitch, but knowing that Ross Stewart's out, I don't know if we're going to stick to a similar system and try and bring someone in to do that, or if we're going to change up a system to play to another player's strengths. Like, it's just, there are so many unknowns for me that it's hard to be super confident that it's definitely going to work and we're definitely going to smash it, because if Ross Stewart wasn't injured, that's exactly what I'd be saying. I'm like, yeah, we're going to stick to the system, it's going to work, comfortably win, maybe a clean sheet, but it's not even just Ross Stewart, right? Kwasi might be out, injured, and we talked about the importance of the consistency at centre-backs. You throw one of those other centre-backs in, it's almost a completely different game for them as well. It's a completely different system that we've not had them exposed to yet. So, it's hard not to feel a bit concerned that some of it isn't going to click, because it's so unknown.
I get that.
But, I know. I guess we'll touch on that and touch about what we think may work and what may go with after a break as we get to team lineups. But first, a message from our partners at Bioniq.
Your body is unique, and Global Sports Podcast Network has partnered with Bioniq, the world's most personalised supplements. Bioniq provide 100% tailor-made supplements, designed to deliver precisely what your body needs at exactly the right levels to optimize your health. No guessing. So click the link in the show notes. Use the code GSPN 2025 for 40% off your first month's subscription. Bioniq. Don't settle for off-the-shelf solutions made for just anybody. Get what's right for you right now. Your body is unique.
Okay, mate, and we are back. Predicted lineups. Let's get into this hotbed. I mean, realistically speaking, we've got a big squad, right? And is there anyone from that squad that at this stage you're willing to completely rule out of the running? Because I don't know if there is for me.
Not particularly. Like, I feel like he'll probably stick with McCarthy in goal just because of the consistency's sake.
Yep,
The two centre backs that have done really well that aren't injured are probably going to stay in, right?
yep,
Who goes in instead? Probably either Taylor Harwood-Bellis or Jack Stevens. Probably
yeah.
trusted more as Stevens, unless all
I
of a
would have
sudden.
thought so. Yeah.
So then, okay, who do you put on the left and right? Well, arguably anybody can put on the
Although,
right.
right, although Taylor Harwood Bellis is sponsored by Level 1, so maybe they want to get that brand out there a bit more and try and increase that revenue, and that's the deciding factor.
Well, I'm pretty sure when you said you tried to find out about Matchday information, that's all that you got kind of flooded on your feed, which made me
Yeah,
laugh a little bit.
there are lots of
Um,
bold. Level 1's open, you can book that here today, and the fan zones are open, and Level 1, and there's probably some football, and Level 1! Yeah, I get
Look,
it.
hopefully it's just they're going to shove it all on opening weekend, and eventually we're not going to have to like scroll down 4 pages of garbage before we can actually like book a ticket or whatever, right? But
Mm.
hey ho. Um, yeah, I don't know. Maybe like it really depends. I don't know if he is as trusted as he used to be, right? And I think Jack Stevens probably is trusted slightly more. Especially being captain of the side as well.
Or do
Have
we
that sort
think
of
that maybe like Ronnie Edwards even comes in because he's been in that sort of that left hand side of a back three before, in and out with Quasi. Normally, admittedly, with sort of one of those other two in the mix. But could that be a completely sort of left field decision that we see come in because who knows?
this is the problem. It's difficult until we get sort of an understanding of what he wants to play now that Ross Stewart's out injured. I think the worrying thing is like I didn't realize how much we now relied on this like one tall guy who is incredibly injury prone and has managed to prove that straight away. Like, I don't know if we've spoken about it yet, but obviously it's now been confirmed he's probably at least out into the new year, which is, a pretty severe injury. And that's also the least. I think he said it was like both a hamstring problem and tendon problem. So that's like a lot, right? That's not
That is a
going to be
lot.
something overnight that heals up, I think. And I doubt we're going to see him again probably until I don't think
I
it's going to
mean,
be. Put it this way, I don't
at
think it's going to
full
be
fitness,
January.
probably at like the run in for the season, right? Because even if
Yeah,
he's back in January, there's going to be so much build up and getting minutes in him and testing it out. Like by the time we actually see him back, expected to play 90 minutes of football, you've got to expect it to be so late in the season. It's upsetting, right? So
yeah, exactly that. So yeah, I'm not entirely sure. I think it's disappointing that before he even basically touched the ball and internationally, Quasi went out injured. So that's frustrating.
yeah,
I think one of the things that you wouldn't expect to change, Shea Charles though, especially with how well
yeah,
he did on the internationals, I think he'll probably stay
yeah.
in the side.
Ryan Manning as well. Got to be in on
I'd
that
expect
list for
so.
me.
Now,
The right hand
if we
side, however, is
yeah, so are we? This is the thing, right? If we're still going through at the back, are we keeping it like are we going to put Tom Furlows in sort of a wing back position again, or are we actually going to go back to having traditional right backs, right? Because at this point, Rorislev kind of demanded that spot for a bit, and then kind of fell off the face of the earth, where he was
Mm,
getting like Fraser picked over him at one point, and then obviously you've got Gillette, who we've spoken about a little bit here and there, and then I think you turn around. We didn't speak about it yet this week, but you turn around and sent me something that I'd seen on like one of the Twitter accounts, right? So I just kind of ignored it
yeah,
until it was from like the Echo, where apparently we've decided not to buy him, despite him playing one game at
yeah.
Liverpool that was really
It's
good.
slightly strange, and
And Will
it was
Steele's also
even
said he's
mentioned
really
in the
good.
press. Yeah, it was also mentioned in the press conference that he was like almost unlucky to be dropped, but the goal we conceded was down that side. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. It's really It's going to be very interesting, that's for
I
sure.
wouldn't be surprised if it's potentially something about minute playing time and minutes and stuff. Maybe he expected to have a bigger role. We don't know what was promised on deadline day, right? Like he was a last minute signing, if I remember rightly. It wasn't one we expected. I think it was like maybe the day before. So yeah, it's very, very hard to predict that spot at this point because we've got like two right backs and also two people that have played in that sort of like wing back position anyway. Unless they want to put, and that's the thing with Fraser is at the moment, I wouldn't be surprised if Fraser cropped up in like centre back, right? So
Yeah.
the only ones that previous I probably would have ruled out would have been maybe Aribo and a Dozy. But the thing is with them is that this might be a perfect opportunity to reintegrate them back into the squad.
Yeah, right.
But
Like
I think
Aribo
this
with that sort of false nine role, doing the same sort of stuff that was expected of Ross Stewart is not, it's not outside of his skill set. That's for
no,
sure.
it's also not beyond the realms of possibility. But I do wonder if we don't see that what the future lies for both of them at this point, because I think if we don't see them appear this week at all, I don't really expect to see them at all ever again.
No,
Which
very
would be,
much so.
I guess, disappointing for just having, people talking about the sort of wages. If Aribo is on the most wages still and is still here and not playing football, I think that's there's a lot of questions I have there. But yeah, the other big question is obviously which strikers do you play? Obviously, Adam Armstrong's actually been scoring goals, so surely you keep Adam Armstrong, right?
Yeah, I think you have to keep Adam Armstrong on the pitch. I don't know. I think that if you play, I think the problem with Archer is that he's a very similar profile of player of Armstrong. I've talked about that quite a lot on the show. And by having them both on the pitch, what you almost invite the defence to do is to just not give them any space in behind and drop even deeper, and instead of playing that sort of higher line that you'd have if you were playing with someone that could knock it down. But I just think from what I've seen of Downs is that his natural tendencies are towards that style of running as well, and less of like a hold-up player, which is what Stewart was really good at. So I don't know. I don't know what the answer to that is. You need to get it in there in a way that's going to mix it up to create that space. If you just... Both of them are players that are capable of scoring goals, but if you're playing a system that almost gives away the game of what you're going to be able to do, you need to try and exploit the gap. And so if you're playing Armstrong and Archer and you're inviting the defence to sit further back, then you almost want a much more attacking-minded midfielder behind them, right? Like, I wouldn't be entirely upset if we played... I know Yanda's been doing very well in midfield, but maybe Azaz and Fraser in as like dual 10s that can sort of carry the ball in and shoot, or giving Tom Fellows that freedom to cut inside in the middle more, and just, if we're going to be playing it so that they want to create the space for Armstrong and Archer to run behind, you also need to create the space in front to have shots from distance to bring that defensive line forward to allow it. So it's difficult. It's a really tricky one.
Yeah, it's a difficult one until we kind of see what to expect. But I guess the good part about it being unpredictable is it's probably about as unpredictable for Swansea as well.
Yeah,
so
until
that is useful. But
the thing about it is we talk a lot, or we've talked from time to time about like the different levels of engagement from fans, right? And so for us looking at this, who follow it closely and do various amounts of research to record a daily podcast, really switched on, really engaged, we can go in and expect the team sheet to look vastly different. And like, I don't think there's a single right answer, but that does mean to less engaged fans, there's probably several wrong answers. And
that's when we get all of those questions to poor Will Still. It's like, you worried about your job yet? And it's like, bruh, it's like,
and
3 months in.
And I don't think that Will Still's the sort of person that's too bothered about sticking his neck out on the line for a decision that some of those less engaged fans would shake their head at and grumble at and go, oh, because it's he's going to do what he thinks best. But if you're going to do that, which is fine, it needs to work, or those grumbles become,
louder.
You justify them, basically. That's when
you start to get all of the crossed out signs and the everybody out, and
But it's
the
definitely
social media campaigns and
it's
stuff.
definitely one of those games where I'm very excited to see the team sheet to try and get my head around what's going on. Like, I'd love to record an episode with you with the team sheet in front of us and break down what we think is going to happen and see how that goes after the game, because it's going to be. But it's
Mate,
it's
considering
interesting.
you're cutting it so fine getting to the game that I'm surprised. I would be surprised if you arrived 5 minutes late. Don't think we'd have time to squeeze in a pre-match recording while you're in the car, hoofing it down the M27. But I don't know. In the future, maybe we could try. Maybe when we next go to a game together, we'll have a in the hour
Pre-match
before.
ramble.
We'll sit there. We'll have 2 or 3 beers, and then we'll have a quick run, and then we'll upload it.
Sounds
If you like the
good.
idea, let us know. Maybe we'll do that. That'd be fun. But then we'll just be another one of those people in the fan zone that gets annoyed because we're whipping out a camera and doing another Matchday vlog. So depends. We're also not that kind of like content for a reason. It's like,
Yeah, indeed. Right, mate, look, I don't think we gave any answers about our predicted lineups, but it's safe to say that anything can happen and we're happy with pretty much all of it.
You are employed by the club, will play. There you go. Heard it here first.
Let's move on to the more exciting bit, the score predictions. But first, let's have a break and a message from our partners at Zencastr. Here at the Global Sports Podcast Network, we spent a lot of time selecting our delivery platform, and Zencastr came out the clear winner. With 4K video recording from your phone and AI editing that automatically removes all those ums and ahs, it's super easy to start a podcast that sounds great and is delivered efficiently. If you're ready to tell your story, check out the link in the show description and learn more about Zencastr. Okay, mate, as is tradition, I'm going to start with the little pre-match ramble that we haven't done yet. That's okay.
I thought you were just. I was waiting for you to throw me straight under the bus. Let's go.
No, this little snippet suggests that Southampton to win with both teams to score and over 8.5 corners is the bet. So that's got to be a good thing, right? Lots of goals, lots of corners, and a win.
I don't like the fact that Swansea are going to score against us, but that changes my score prediction slightly, I guess.
I mean, look, can we expect? I don't know if it's necessarily like Swansea will score against us as much as we will
let in
a
dumb
goal.
goal. Yeah, you're right.
Southampton's average home form, while Swansea are performing average away, reads for a very entertaining game.
I thought you were going to say average game at that point, but there we are.
Yeah, very much so. But look, mate, as is tradition, I'm going to throw you under the bus first. Let's get into it. What do you think? How are you feeling?
3-1? Let's go with 3-1. I just need us to have a comprehensive win, mate. I used that word in a podcast the other day well too many times, but it's because it's how I feel. We need to have a win that is statement, that is important, that shows we're going into the rest of this run of games.
Stamp our authority on it.
Which is something that isn't just another 1-1 draw, right? We cannot use that to build momentum.
Where in the team are 3 goals coming from?
There are going to be 3 goals, Greg, scored by 3 Southampton players.
No own goals. That's an interesting...
Considering we talked about how we struggle to even pick a team, like the only players I think I've definitely probably nailed down are either Shea Charles, Alex McCarthy, Ryan Manning, and Adam Armstrong. So let's say a goal from all of the outfield players that I've named there.
Yeah,
apart from Alex McCarthy.
Yeah.
So there you go. Right. Ryan Manning, Shea Charles, and Adam Armstrong. That's because that at least lines up with what I said.
Yeah, I like it. All right, what am I feeling? Oh, I don't know. 2-0. I thought I was going to go bigger, to be honest, until that left
I thought you were going to go bigger, and also the fact that you joked around the fact that we would definitely concede and you gave us a clean sheet is always surprising, mate.
No, I just think it feels like a reasonable answer, right? Like in theory,
I guess so.
It should play out roughly that way. Armour to get a goal and Tom Fellows, because you've got to stick with the tradition of predicting that every week. If you keep
predicting him, eventually he's going to score, right? That's how that works.
Yeah, and I mean, look, he got highly rated on the most important ranking list of the week, which was our blind ranking of players based solely on their song. So it's got to be a good sign.
Oh, I thought you were about to say XG and really upset me.
Absolutely not. Well, look, that's it. That's all we've got time for. It's time to get back to real football, mate. And
Here we go.
I mean, it's getting close to that time. I better run off now and start getting everything ready to try and do a horrible speed run to Southampton.
You enjoy that, mate. I will watch it at home.
Listen, not on real TV though, mate. Only on Sky Sports Plus.
Oh, of course.
Thank you, Zach, as always, for joining me. And thank you, everyone, for listening. Let us know in the comments or on the socials what you think the score is going to be. We love to hear from you. We're on all of the socials: X, Blue Sky, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, absolutely everywhere. Hit us up. Let us know. Yeah, brilliant stuff. We'll be back on Monday, regardless of the outcome. Whether it's pain or absolute joy, we will be back to talk about it. But until then, I hope you will have a wonderful weekend, and we will see you then.
Your daily soccer podcast with the Global Sports Podcast Network.
Go.